Hey YouTube, Wes here, checking in with a brand new episode of The Vinyl Survivor. Hope you're all doing well, having a great day, great night, whenever it is you're watching this. Yeah, first time with a new camera, so hopefully this goes well. Hopefully everything looks okay, 4K possibly. So if you're new here, this is a show about records I have pulled from my inbox that I've collected over the years, and this is where I give sort of a final reckoning, a final verdict on whether I want to keep them in my permanent collection or whether they just weren't for me. So a lot of times these records I've had for a number of years now, listened to from time to time, but I do at least want to give everything sort of a final critical listen before I decide whether it's going to be going in my permanent collection or not. So this is where I talk about that, and yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, 10 records at a time. First one we have here is from 1987 by the artist Stan Campbell, his self-titled debut album. He's kind of a light pop rock kind of sound, kind of a Michael McDonald kind of sound to his music. It's a very enjoyable listen. I definitely didn't hate this, but as far as something I want to revisit in the future or anything, it just wasn't for me. But a very nice sounding album, definitely a very cool 80s production sounding album. Really good sounding record. If you want to put something on that just sounds good, kind of a Sunday morning kind of listen, this would be a good thing to play. But beyond that, it's not really that interesting musically or lyrically or anything like that. Sort of an 80s electro label there. Vinyl itself, and it is pressed on Quiex vinyl. This is a gold stamp promo, so that might be why it's on Quiex vinyl. But again, just a good sounding album. If you want an album that just sounds good, this would be a good one to pick up if you're into that light pop rock 80s kind of stuff. This might be up your alley, but for me, yeah, just not going to be something I want to revisit. So this one did not make the cut. All right, the next album I have to talk about is from another sort of 80s pop rock duo. These are called the Williams Brothers, and this is their album titled Two Stories, also from 1987, I believe. So yeah, they did this cover like this. It's neat, but yeah, it's kind of confusing, but that is them. And again, yeah, like I said, kind of an 80s pop rock kind of sound to their production. Very cool 80s production, late 80s production, being that. So again, it was fun to listen to. I enjoyed it. I definitely think I got my dollar's worth, but not something I want to keep in the permanent collection. Just have a nice custom insert or custom inner sleeve. And they are on the Warner Brothers label. So yeah, that's the Williams Brothers. There they both are there. Again, enjoyable, but not really something I think I'm going to revisit. So that's not going to be staying in my collection either. All right, next up, going back into probably the 60s, at some point, early 60s, I'm guessing this is Jimmy Dean with Big Bad John and Other Fabulous Songs and Tales. So it's got his version of Big Bad John on it, a bunch of other stuff on here, 16 Tons, Smoke That Cigarette. Yeah, enjoyable. This one, unfortunately, it skipped on me, so I'm not going to be able to keep this one, but yeah, it was a fun listen. Go ahead and show you the record here real quick. Nice 2i Columbia. And I pulled this out of a free bin, so not a big loss. Just thought I'd give it a shot, and yeah, you know, I was able to listen to it, but it had some skips, so I'm not going to be keeping it in my collection. But possibly I'll look for a nicer copy down the road. So yeah, Big Bad John, or Jimmy Dean with Big Bad John. Not going to be keeping it, but enjoyed listening to that one. All right, next up we got some country music here from the Gatlin Brothers Band, or Larry Gatlin and the Gatlin Brothers Band. This is their greatest hits. Another one I picked up out of the free bin, and it is quite noisy, so not going to be staying in the collection, and probably not something I would keep anyway. This is from 1980, so it's got a lot of late 70s country, male vocal country kind of stuff, and just not something I would normally listen to anyway. I prefer female country artists, particularly of this time period. So there is the record on that one. So yeah, Larry Gatlin and the Gatlin Brothers Band, Greatest Hits. It was fun to spin, but not something I'm going to be keeping. All right, next up from the year 2000, I got a piece of hip hop here. This is Big Pun with Yeah Baby. Yeah, just some early 2000s hip hop, very commercial. Another one, I enjoyed spinning it, but I think I'm changing my ways on this sort of early 2000s hip hop stuff. I enjoy it, but it's not something I really want to collect anymore, I don't think. Yeah, just for space reasons, I don't really think I need to own a lot of this stuff. You know, there were some great albums released in that time period that I do want to keep, but overall, a lot of sort of mediocre and poor stuff, and this falls into the sort of the mediocre category, I would say. You know, it was fun to spin, definitely worth the buck I paid for it, but not going to be keeping it around. And that's on the Loud Records label, 2 LP set. Yeah, Big Pun, Yeah Baby from 2000, not going to be staying in my collection. All right, next up, moving back to the 60s, we got a Stone Cold classic here. This is Janice Joplin with Pearl. Janice Joplin and Full Tilt Boogie. Classic album of hers. You know, Me and Bobby McGee is on here. Mercedes-Benz is on here. Just great blues vocal kind of stuff. Yeah, definitely enjoyed spinning this. I'm guessing this is a reissue because it's on the red and orange Columbia label, but a very nice copy of this, very clean, sounds great, so I'm happy at that, and this is definitely something I want to have in my collection, a classic that needs to be in my collection, so I'm going to be keeping this one. I think this is the first one I've shown today that is a keeper, so Janice Joplin and Full Tilt Boogie with Pearl, definitely staying in the collection. All right, the next thing I have to share with you is a live album from 1983, and this one really did it for me. I love this. This is Peter Gabriel Plays Live, 1983, 2 LP live album. Just killer stuff on here. Yeah, just an awesome live performance, well recorded. I really did enjoy listening to this quite a bit, and yeah, really glad to have this one. So this one's definitely staying in my collection. I'll show you the inner sleeves on this one. Nice concert photography here. I would have loved to see this concert. And he's on the Geffen label. Nice 2 LP set with black Geffen labels. Yeah, Peter Gabriel Plays Live, definitely highly recommended, and definitely something I enjoyed, and I'm definitely going to be staying in my collection. All right, next up we got a bit more of 80s pop rock kind of stuff. This is a little bit heavier than what I showed earlier. This is Midnight Oil with their album Diesels and Dust from 1987. Classic of theirs with Beds Are Burning on it. Yeah, I love this. This is a great piece of 80s music. Really glad to have found this on vinyl. See the gatefold here. Nice inner sleeve with lyrics on it. And this is on the red and orange Columbia label. So yeah, that's Midnight Oil with Diesels and Dust. Absolutely love it, and staying in my collection. All right, next up, another one from 1987. This is another well-known, well-loved one, classic 80s album. This is Sting with Nothing Like the Sun, 1987. As I said, this one's got Englishman in New York on it, Fragile, We'll Be Together. Great tracks on here. A really good 2 LP album. Yeah, really nice sounding album, and yeah, it's Sting. So if you like Sting, this has got a lot of hits on it, so you're gonna like it. and I definitely dug hearing this, and have dug listening to it over the years, and I'm glad to be putting it in my permanent collection. This one does have an insert here with a couple of photographs on it, and then on the inside you get some more smaller photographs and some lyrics, so that's a nice addition. Didn't always get that kind of detail in the 80s, so that's a nice thing to have. And then this is on the A&M Records label, but sort of I'm guessing this is probably a custom A&M Records label, as I've never seen one like this before. It's kind of fitting with the album itself. So yeah, it stings, nothing like the sun. Yeah, I liked it a lot, and it's going to be going in my permanent collection. Okay, and last but not least, we're staying in the 80s here, but going back to 1982, and that is Prince's 1999, another classic from the 80s. And yeah, you got 1999, of course, Little Red Corvette, Delirious, Let's Pretend We're Married, Lady Cab Driver. Yeah, just classic Prince album, and a really nice one to have. And yeah, I enjoyed listening to this, so this is going to be staying in my collection as well. This one does have the original inner sleeves, photographs, and is there lyrics? Yeah, there's lyrics there. Another one there. And then a nice 2 LP set with the eye labels there. Yeah, really cool. So yeah, that's Prince 1999, closing out this episode of the Vinyl Survivor. Another keeper, another one going in the collection. I think about half of them made it this time, so that's a pretty decent average. Hope you enjoyed what I shared with you today. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Stay tuned, and we'll see you again real soon. Cheers.